I need you to stop what you are doing and go watch Washington Black right now. If you are into books like The Alchemist, films like Life of Pi, shows like Underground and Lovecraft Country, this is your type of show. First of all, I was going to watch anyway because Sterling K. Brown is in it. Anything with Sterling K. Brown, I'm watching. He could play a shirt drying and I'm going to watch it because that shirt going to dry like it ain't never dried before. And baby, Sterling and the rest of the cast did not disappoint. The entire story is centered around a young boy named Wash who is enslaved on a sugarcane plantation in Barbados. Wash has a natural gift for science. He really loves exploring the sciences. He also has a natural gift for painting and drawing. Now, one of the things I love so much about this show as a historian, as a STEM graduate, as well as a spiritualist, is that immediately from episode 1, there's so much accurate history, STEM, and spiritual symbolism. And much of it was introduced from this character who is named Kit. Kit is Wash's elder from back home in Dahomey. Now, you can't really tell in this picture, but Kit has some scars on her face, and scarification is a spiritual as well as cultural ceremony practice that can depict a person's ethnic group. It can depict their ranking or hierarchy in the ethnic group. It also can depict their social status and class. So many things can be symbolized based on these scars, but the fact that Kit had her scars was the immediate symbolism that she had not been born on the plantation. More than likely, she was the first generation enslaved person. And I think because of that, Kit had such a close connection to her culture, her spiritual practices, as well as her sense of freedom because she is directly from Dahomey, and she instilled that into Wash. It was so beautiful to see them practice a full moon spiritual ritual where they honored Yemoja and Ogun because the Dahomey people were known for practicing voodoo out of Benin, which a lot of people don't know is based in Ifa science and does honor Orisha. So throughout the show, there's a lot of mention of Orishas like Yemoja, like Ogun, and it started with the introduction of Kit and her having Wash pray for their ancestors, and they prayed facing the full moon and called on Yemoja and Ogun to protect their ancestors and guide them back home to Dahomey. Then we have Titch, who is the brother of the plantation owner named Erasmus. Titch is a scientist. He got it from their father. When he returns to the plantation, he immediately notices that Wash has this natural gift for science, and he decides that he wants to take Wash under his wing. Well, their other brother, Philip, comes back to the plantation and is unalived in some way. I won't give any spoilers on that, but out of fear that Wash will get blamed for it, Titch takes Wash and they run off in their invention, which is the hot air balloon. Titch and Wash going on the run is where this journey of the exploration of freedom and survival and passing really begins. And the beauty of this show is it kind of switches back and forth between time periods. We are really seeing Wash as an adult recall his childhood experience of how he made it to Halifax, which is the last stop on the Underground Railroad, where he is now passing as a free man named Jack Crawford. So that's when we start to explore the life of passing as Jack Crawford, while he's flashing back to how he even made it to this space in the first place. But he has not lost his love of science, even through his journey of passing for survival and freedom. In Halifax, we also get to explore this beautiful love story between Miss Angie and Medwin. Medwin and Miss Angie are both free Black people who help other survivors of the Underground Railroad stay free, remain free, and really those who are struggling to find and adapt to freedom do that work, right? So Medwin and Angie are clearly madly in love with each other, but Medwin is struggling to kind of really deeply connect to his emotions because he too has had a journey of fighting to survive, right? So it really kind of explores the relationship that Black men have with their emotions and sometimes their difficulty to connect in true love with Black women. This is a beautiful love story that we kind of get to see unfold throughout the show. And we also get to really explore Miss Angie, who is playing somewhat of an elder mother role to Wash, right? So we get to see how she kind of grapples with this reality of who Wash, who's now passing as Jack Crawford, really is. And we watch her get to care for him and love for him throughout it all, while also maintaining her dignity and her boundaries with Medwin, right? So we really get to see a Black woman give grace and love and honor other people while prioritizing herself and her own wellness. Y'all, it's good. And we also get to explore the love story between George Washington Black, who's now passing as Jack Crawford in Halifax, and Tana. Tana is a half Melanesian girl who is from the Solomon Islands. Her father, who is European, takes her away from the islands and brings her to Halifax with the intent of having her pass as a European woman. She's passing as white. What I love so much about Tana's character is it really challenges the audience to go research the history of Melanesian people in the Solomon Islands. Tana has a very close spiritual relationship and connection with water. Water is actually one of her ways that she connects with her ancestors. Ancestor veneration and connecting with the ancestors is deep and heavy throughout the show. Both of them do it, and multiple other characters do it in various different ways. Water is her way of doing it. So we really get to exceed this exploration of relationships with the moon, with water, with herbs and different things like that in order to heal and bring about freedom, deep ancestral connection, as well as survival. Now, another thing I loved about this show is it explored passing in different ways, but rooted in the same reason, which was freedom and survival. You had George Washington Black, who was passing as Jack Crawford for his freedom, for survival. You had Tana, who was passing as a white woman for her freedom, for survival. You had another character who was passing as an elite upper class person because he wanted to experience the freedom and the privilege of living a high class elite life. You also had another character who was passing as a straight man because he needed to survive in the society he was in, and he didn't get to experience true freedom until he left that society. But that character really challenges the audience to ask yourself, did he do the right thing? Because I don't want to spoil it. You gotta watch the show. We also get to explore this beautiful relationship between elder and youth. We get to see this relationship unfold where this young man who for so long has been surviving on his own, he opens himself up to be parented, to be fathered and protected by Medwin, and he receives that elder guidance and allows that to really influence a lot of his decision making. And we get to see this elder go out of his way to protect his young and to guide his young to be better than who he is. This is good. And the show does this a lot. They show a lot of elders and teachers coming into Wash's life to guide him along his journey of survival and freedom. You have Barrington, who's a Guyanese pirate on a ship, who not only guides and teaches Wash, but also challenges one of his other teachers, who is Titch, who took him from the plantation for survival and freedom. And then you have a character who plays Nat Turner. Nat Turner comes in and shows up to defend Wash and teach him and guide him. And that's when you have like some religion conversation kind of come into play. And he challenges Christianity and what's being taught in Christianity. Y'all, so many good things are in this show. And if you are a fan of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho like I am, you will really love this show because we really are watching Wash go on the journey of finding his personal legend, as well as a journey of survival, but never forgetting his personal legend. And he meets all of these teachers and learn all of these life lessons that the audience, the viewer, really gets to kind of unpack for themselves. And I'm talking about life lessons like, what is heaven for you and how can you manifest that in the physical right here, right now? What does it mean and look like to live life for yourself, for you, no matter what? What does that look like to live life for yourself? There are so many beautiful life lessons that get explored throughout this show. Y'all, when I say this show is so good, I mean it's so good. I haven't even scratched the surface on the amount of history and science and spirituality in this show. There's even a scene where they do a toast to the Wall of the Lost, and it's really them paying honor to all of their ancestors and elders who were taken back into slavery from Halifax, from the free land, and also those who may have transitioned along the journey to freedom, right? So during that toast, Medwin, played by Sterling K. Brown, he says, and may we curse the white men that took them. May their right hand shrivel and their peckers something, right? And I thought that this was so interesting because if you know anything about African spirituality, especially root work coming from from Gullah Geechee culture, the right hand is the receiving hand. It is the hand that we use for abundance and manifestation. So for the curse against them to be made their right hand shrivel, I said, yes. Yes. Whoever y'all were consulting about the spirituality on this show, they did their big one with that. Like I said, y'all, if you have not watched Washington Black yet, definitely go watch it. The history, the science, the spirituality, and all of the subtopics within those major genres is beautiful, and it's excellent to unpack with your community, to have these conversations around survival and freedom and passing and bringing your culture with you no matter where you go, practicing your spirituality unapologetically, your relationship with the moon, with the water, with the other elements, right? Like, it's so many different things that you can talk about from this one show, and they did an excellent job of turning the book by Essie into a beautiful series. Enjoy.